Hello everybody and welcome back to Nemes Plays EU4. I'm your host Nemes with BerCrew Studios and we're back in Cologne. Last episode we vassalized Brandenburg in order to break their overlordship of Trier. They've made a few allies, but Munster, Nuremberg, and nobody nearby. I think Georgia. That's Georgia. Not real work. Well, look at Genoa go. Wow. Anyhow, so we are a little bit in a consolidation mode because of we do have some aggressive expansion. We're still burning off. We were able to do the Oldenburg move without too many issues from an aggressive expansion perspective. But anywho, so nobility will gain 5 loyalty and we'll gain 50 military power, and that sounds pretty great. They were already down to 35%. Now, trade efficiency, development cost, if it's above 50 or 60%. I might look at doing that at some point because they don't have really any influence. But there's other reasons to give land. So let's check on that real quick. So let's take trade here. If we give land to the burghers, so this is something I don't think I've talked about. You know, and a lot of folks are worrying about the loyalty and the influence, and haven't really looked at what are the impacts of giving land to someone. Because one thing it does is it increases the autonomy pretty significantly. But there are other impacts. So province autonomy goes up to 25%. But the local trade power goes up 50%. And so I'm going to go ahead and give Ostfriesland to the burghers. Now, we'll take a look at our trade. It's 569, and in Lübeck right now, we have 31.4 trade power. So let's give this to the burghers, and it probably won't update right away. So let's let it tick another month. So our trade power went up to 32.9, and our income went up to over 6. Now, what that does is that gives them a little more influence and a little more loyalty, and you don't want to give too much. Now, to show you what happens when, where is that? Estates. So this is controlled by the nobility, and what that gives is a manpower modifier. So in land where maybe we want to get more manpower modifiers, we should you know, we should have it for the nobility. And then this one has the clergy, and when the clergy has it, reduces local unrest. So you can be very strategic. Now, you can't just shuffle and shuffle and shuffle because there are some negative impacts of taking land away. The positive impacts to giving land is less than the negative impacts of taking it away. But what it does mean is you want to look at your provinces, and if there are, you know, provinces where the trade power is high, estuaries may be an example, or where the manpower is high, then you know, we may want to give things away to estates, not just for these bonuses, their loyalty bonuses, but for the actual bonuses we get as a result of handing them that. So trade power, I don't think we have any other major trade power provinces. I'll take a quick gander around here. For the most part, no. They're all pretty standard. Oh, that Cologne is maybe an example that's not, but that's our capital, so you can't generally give away your capital, believe it or not. Now, manpower-wise, 312. So Aachen is maybe a good option for the nobility. Let's see. Is that the 3,500? What in the world happened there? Ah, there's a barracks. base is 2,000. That seems insanely high. Oh, it's because its military is up to 8. Good grief. Yeah, each level gives 250 manpower. So I absolutely want to give this to the nobility. Their loyalty will go up 12.6%, and their influence will go up significantly to almost 60%. But that manpower, so our max manpower right now is 25,528. Let's go ahead and give this to the nobility. We'll let the month tick. Actually looked like it went down somehow. Oh, here we go. Land theft. So, we can piss off the nobility and make the clergy happy, giving them more influence, which I really don't want to do right now. We can give the nobility more loyalty and lose some... or we can favor another party, which basically just makes them both lose influence and loyalty, which is the one I'm going to choose. Because neither of them are over 60. Neither of them are over 60 right now, and losing the influence is definitely a good thing. So, for some reason, probably because the 25% autonomy overrode the nobility factor. But that's okay. It was an experiment. Alright, so, and we may take some land away from the nobility. So let me take a quick look around here. Bum, bum, bum. So if we took this away from them, let's see what that does. So let me check the... I'm going to wait on that, actually, because they're, whatchamacallit's kind of low right now. Alright, so, that's our estate stuff for now. I'm going to pause real quick to get my Diplos back to work. We'll top off Great Britain. Poland should be close to topped off, but we'll go ahead and retop them. France is not quite topped off. Sweden, not quite topped off. And Savoy... just to get those guys to work. I hate having idle Diplos like that. So we are going to integrate Oldenburg at some point. So actually what I'll probably do is start improving with them. And then we're eventually going to go after Trier. I'd like to get Trier as a march. Oldenburg... their province development's just not enough for me to make them a march. I could give them something to make it more so. Speaking of development, we are almost maxed out on military points again. And we don't have ideas for another 2 levels of admin. So I think I am going to do some military development here. So let me check the estates again. And I'm going to see if we give a military development to one of these 2 provinces. 656. Let's do another military expanding. 984. And we'll do one here as well. And here. I don't know if I want to do Munster anymore. I mean, that's a pretty impressive supply limit, honestly. Not supply limit. Manpower. So, we'll see how that all works out. That buys me a little bit of time with that tech. We've maxed out with Sweden. That's fine. How are we doing on Magdeburg? I'll go ahead and top off with Magdeburg. We can integrate them if we'd like. Alright, so some of the Protestant stuff is starting to lose religious zeal, it looks like. I'm going to wait because I've talked to a couple of you guys in the comments, and we're not really sure yet whether we want to stay Catholic or go Protestant and then form Westphalia, but we'll see. We still have time to figure all that out. Let's see, Gelra. Trying to see what some of these other alliances are. Gain of free mercantilism, yes, please. Bohemia, you're still the emperor, right? Oh wow, we are down to 5 electors. Wow, and they're all voting for Bohemia. So I guess I'll vote for Bohemia too. Alright, so what electors did we lose? And Tyrol is an elector now. Ferrara, Mainz, Cologne. So we lost, Saxony lost their, oh, that's right, because of the whatchamacallit must have fired. The religious war. I don't know how I missed that. Or it expired, one of the two. But yeah, there's no more league, which should mean if I went to attack, for example, Lubeck, that the league won't protect them anymore, because there's no league anymore. So it's Saxony, Munster, Frankfurt. Interesting. And we'll have to get some favors built up before we can do anything about that. But the empire stayed Catholic. So all the Protestant princes basically no longer have any power to do any elect. So Saxony must be Protestant. They are, and they are not able to become emperor. So that's, if we do decide to switch to Westphalia, let me know what you guys think. But I'm almost tempted to stay Catholic just so we can become the emperor. Because I think we're at a point where we might be able to do something like that, given our relative power. Since Austria basically fell apart, Bohemia is really the last major power aside from us and Lubeck. So let me know what you guys think about that. But I'm considering staying Catholic for that specific purpose of becoming emperor. All right. When will our truce expire? Brabant is coming up. Mostly in the 90s. So we got a little bit of time here. Oop, pardon the microphone. So, Mainz. We don't have a Casus Belli. They have Flanders, Augsburg, and Nevers. I think we could take that. So, are you Protestant or Catholic? You're Catholic. And you're an elector, aren't you? You are. Ooh, interesting. Because what we could do is if we switch to a monarchy at some point, which I think is a decision, yes, secularization. Once we hit Tech 20, we could stay as Cologne, switch to a monarchy, and then basically snag these two guys and be the emperor forever, because there's only 5. Oh no, there's 6 electors. Who did they add? Oh, Liège was added, right? So there's 6 electors now. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on the whole empire thing, if that's something you think we should pursue or not. Let's check the military on Lubeck. So they're at 27,000. They're building up a pretty good sized force, and you can see they're training troops. So I'm curious to see what their plans are. They are allied with Saxony. Saxony's allied with half the planet. Munster. Gelra. Okay. I think Würzburg is probably the most. It depends whether or not Bohemia will protect them no matter what. That's the question. Is this because I don't have a Casus Belli, or is it because they just love mines? And I think Frankfurt is in that same... yeah, Bohemia will accept because they are a free city. Lubeck. Like I said, this the last two major powers left, I think, aside from us, that we're going to have to deal with one of them at some point. Trust is far too low with these guys, unfortunately. And that's an interesting thing because I've lost that trust with France, there's nothing I can do to get that back. Do I want to lose a stability or a bunch of money? I will lose money because I have money and I don't like to lose monarch points when I don't have to. So, and remind me of the year I can integrate you again. 1596. Oh, Spain. You've allied Spain? How did Liège ally Spain? Well, let's improve relations because they are a world power. Look at Serbia go. Good night. Hungary is almost gone. Austria is relatively weak. The Ottomans, yeah, they've been the Ottomans. Genoa is doing pretty well, but what's funny is that Savoy took them out of Italy. So they just have Corsica and then their lands over by Crimea. And Lithuania is doing so well over there that, excuse me, that they're probably helping shield Genoa. Are they allied? No, they're not. I don't know how Genoa's surviving then, to be quite honest with you. All right, and I know this is a little bit chatty, but we're trying to again spend some time to let this aggressive expansion, and it's almost gone. So I'm going to start fabricating on Wurzburg. Let's fabricate on Nassau. Now we can administrative tech up, and we will, because we're still way behind, and we want to get to that next idea group because we're starting to run into an issue where we're gonna be capping out on monarch points. So I think I'm gonna take the I think I'm supposed to take the trade efficiency guy because of I don't want to spend a ton of money on advisors, even though we are over on Diplo relations, so we are going to have to deal with that. I really don't want to revoke the march. I kind of like that extra 9 stack of troops, even though that Magdeburg, having Magdeburg would be nice, but we'll see. Revoking the march will make it take a lot longer to integrate them anyway, so it's a bit of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. All right. Munster, Nuremberg, and Georgia. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Sure, go through my lands. Once we take Nassau, I mean, these guys would be an amazing march, but I don't think I can eat them. I think the aggressive expansion would be way too big. So I'd kind of like to just take his nice provinces. Mainz is his nicest by a lot. And I'm going to definitely hold off on that. We're going to spend some more military points. Let's check to see if we're okay on generals. Let's do some more development. So let's see. We could do Ostfriesland. We'll do trade for sure because this is an estuary. In fact, I'm just going to do that twice. And then we'll kick up one of our military provinces here in the center. Go 4 and 4. And I'm going to kick them both up again, actually. We'll go to 5 on all 3 of those guys. Now, development also impacts your force limit over time, every 10 development, basically. So we'll eventually, as we're developing provinces, start to see some benefits from that as well. All right, so Clemens August has died. I think he was just our heir. Yeah, the heir died. So devotion's at 100. I would say we can make France real happy. I could try to see if that can help us. I'll do that for now and see if that helps us at all relationship-wise. I don't think that's enough given the trust barrier, but and it doesn't. I don't know what we can do to repair the trust with them, to be quite honest with you. We might have just ruined it too much. Let that be a lesson to you, any of you who play and watch, that you can do too much damage to trust to basically reestablish a relationship, which is quite... I think it's good because it kind of forces you to think in the long term about some of these moves you make and these wars you decline. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. We've burned off almost all of our aggressive expansion. I think Wurzburg is the next place we're going to attack, and I'm hoping that that's really kind of our last major move before we attack Lübeck. We're going to have to deal with the Lübeck situation soon. Ideally, we're going to take a swing at Wurzburg to strengthen ourselves, and then possibly Trier, and then Lübeck will be next on the hit list. So anyway, if you like the series, please put a like below, and if you would like to give any feedback, please leave comments. We will reply usually within a day, and I try not to stay too far ahead on this series for that specific reason. I want to integrate your feedback to us in all the things that we do. So I've been your host, Nemes with BerCrew Studios. Have a great one.